Tonight on CTV, hear about why our beloved bookstore has been looking a little different.
And did you know you can buy fresh meat here on campus?
All this and more tonight on CTV.
We come to you live with breaking news. The Associated Students of CSU, the Graduate Workers Organizing Cooperative, also known as GWOC, and the American Association of University Professors, AAUP, are meeting with the city right now in the Student Center to discuss the proposed tuition increase. The three CSU organizations have been vocal about their feelings about tuition increase. GWOC and AAUP even protested last April over unfair wages. Tune in next Thursday night at 7 for a full recap on the meeting and how it will impact your tuition. Now live in the studio is Adam Carlson, here to see if these recent snow flurries will take us into the weekend. Adam?
Good evening, Rams, and welcome to another exciting week for weather. Now, this week has been a roller coaster for what to expect from the sky, including Aurora Borealis. But before we check out the lights, let's see what it is out now. Current conditions, 33 degrees and cloudy outside, with humidity at 59 degrees. It'll cool down a bit further throughout the night, but nothing too crazy. But Sunday night was an unexpected greeting from the Northern Lights in Fort Collins. The green and red strikes from the sky were a result of a very large geomagnetic storm from the north. The storms are caused by solar winds influencing Earth's magnetic field and the colors from the chemical compound of Earth's atmosphere reacting with the winds. The lights were visible for 2 nights in a row, but far more subtle Monday night. Horsetooth Reservoir was a popular spot for many. However, they weren't necessarily able to see the light without a long exposure camera. While I was unable to catch the lights myself, an event like this reaching Fort Collins is fairly rare and is one that shocked many when they heard they missed the event. Tonight's lows in the western slopes, Craig at 13 degrees, and the rest all in those 10s, Gunnison giving us our low of 1, and Grand Junction hitting us in 27. In the eastern side, we'll see more just 20s all around. Fort Collins 26, and Denver as our highest at 29. Tomorrow, we can expect 46 as our high, 23 as our low, and it's going to be a bit rainy and snowy. As the night progresses, rain will turn into snow, and humidity at 47%, wind at 10 miles per hour. Now, as we go into this weekend and next week, we can expect things to cool down a bit. It's 41 on Saturday, Sunday up back at 49. But then once we get to Tuesday, Wednesday, we can expect snow every single moment of that. Also, expect around 10 miles per hour wind all through next week. And that brings me to the end of the weather rundown for you all tonight. But stay tuned. Abby and Naomi have more news for you up next.
Wow, well, I just can't believe that the Northern Lights came to Colorado. You know, usually people would want to drive all the way there just to see, the lights. And yeah, I bet there were just a lot of photographers trying to take pictures.
Yeah.
Looked amazing.
Absolutely. I'm kind of disappointed I missed it, but similar to Adam, I didn't even know it happened until after it already did. So it's kind of crazy to think that that was so nearby, just literally in our backyard. But while walking through the Flores Student Center, you may have noticed the university bookstore has been looking a little different lately. The top level of the bookstore was closed off due to the last phase of the LSC's reconstruction. Students should expect more closures around the area, including much of the outdoor area north of the LSC Plaza, the northeast doors to the bookstore, and the stairwell nearby. Students will need to use different entrances and exits for the time being, but according to the university, all areas are expected to be reopened by spring commencement.
Larimer County's most wanted suspect was arrested Monday after escaping a felony conviction. Christina Michelle Ashford was listed as Larimer County's most wanted last Friday when she escaped a $5,000 bond for a felony conviction. Ashford failed to appear on charges of identity theft, forgery of a check, first-degree auto trespassing with the intent to commit a crime, and theft. The initial bond was set for $5,000, but after her escape from conviction, it was increased to a $25,000 bond. Larimer County announced Tuesday that she was arrested and booked into Larimer County Jail. Now live in the studio, we have CTV's very own Max Dietz here to talk about Holocaust Awareness Week and its impact on the Jewish community at CSU. Max?
Thanks, Abby. Almost 80 years ago, 6 million Jewish people died during the Holocaust. Now, in 2023, hundreds of CSU students gathered together to learn about Jewish history and culture during Holocaust Awareness Week.
Elizabeth Rojko, Sigmund Rojko.
This week, students for Holocaust Awareness Week organized events around campus.
I think this week brings, even though it's through tragedy, a sense of community. My hope is that people can see this week for what it is, not for spending too much time on something we should be over by now, but by telling stories of people.
Ever since last Friday, we've begun Students for Holocaust Awareness Week with a series of different events during school days to promote empathy for the Holocaust and education about the Holocaust. On Friday, we set up the Field of Flags on the LSC Plaza. Each flag represents 5,000 people that were killed in a concentration camp during the Holocaust, and they're all color coordinated to different recorded groups. Monday, SAE Pi hosted a movie night in the LSC Theater where they showed the film Denial. On Tuesday, we had a guest lecture done by Dr. Carolyn Aronis on anti-Semitism. We were very lucky to have the honor to host Mrs. Sarah Moses, who was a survivor of multiple concentration camps, to share her story with the university.
The Holocaust is a tragedy that must be remembered. We can never forget what happened, how 6 million Jews lost their lives and millions more were murdered for not being Aryan.
Love your neighbor as yourself. And my dream is that only then will we have a world free of genocide, a world free of wars and violence, a world of loving compassion, and a world of peace. That's kind of my dream.
If you missed the event, you can still attend the Memorial Walk tomorrow on CSU's Plaza at 1. This is Max Dietz, CTV Channel 11. Back to you.
Thank you, Max. You know, I think it was really important for them to be covering something like this on campus and have all these people come in to talk. I did see those flags around campus, and I wasn't entirely sure what they meant, but now that I do, it's really, interesting.
Yeah, the Holocaust is a really deep and complex, it just has so much history to it, and I think it's just important to remember the lives that were lost and to also just honor them. And I hear that speaker has been going to this event every year, and yeah, she seems to know a lot.
Yeah, I loved how she said, love yourself and love your neighbor. I think that's a great sentiment.
Yeah. CSU's new president, Amy Parsons, has been in office for less than 1 month, and she is already making waves. Parsons has announced 3 new leadership hires to introduce new voices and diverse perspectives. One of the hires, Rico Num, has been the superintendent of Aurora Public Schools since 2018. He also served on the Board of Governors for the CSU system from 2013 to 2020. He will now join the office of president as Parsons' chief of staff on July 1st. Another hire, Kyle Henley, will become CSU's vice president for marketing and communications on May 1st. Previously serving as VP of Communications for 3 other universities, Henley is regarded as a national leader in higher education. Lastly, June Greist, who has been the communications director for the Bohemian Foundation since 2014, will come back and serve as CSU's director of presidential and administrative communications starting on Monday. A national search will begin shortly for a provost and executive vice president.
Welcome back from the break, Rams. The Fort Collins community was shaken last month when the transport employee accidentally hit a colleague with a city bus and killed him. 37-year-old Jason Talene was struck and killed by at a maintenance facility in late January. Fort Collins police found that it was simply an accident and no charges will be filed against the person driving the bus. Now Talene's mother is demanding justice. She claims that the Fort Collins Police Services had not provided her with information before the case closed, and she is still left with questions regarding the tragic death of her son.
If you use the popular bus Route 19, you are in luck because Transport has taken action to resume normal operations. Last August, Transport buses announced recent staffing shortages, causing problems for riders who need the bus. Running along Shield Street and Harmony Road, Route 19 is widely used in the community as 80% of CSU students live off campus and a vast majority of these students live west of campus. According to CSU Parking and Transportation, in a city press release, an interim Transport Director, Kaylee Zeigel, said, quote, "We understand that Route 19 provides critical service for the community and students attending school along this corridor," end quote. Route 19 will run with a frequency of 1 hour Monday through Friday from 6:45 in the morning to 7:15 in the evening, making students' lives a little bit easier.
The days of circling CSU parking lots before class may be changing. CSU Parking and Transportation Services are updating their plan for 2024. CSU will implement these goals in their 2024 master plan, which focuses on efforts for new buildings, parking, and transportation, to name a few. It will serve as the blueprint for transportation on campus for the next 10 years. The previous plan, drafted in 2014, determined parking supply ratios and to prioritize certain parking and mobility goals. But now they are focusing on transportation demand management for traveler choices and safety. Hopefully, with more access to these resources, the journey to campus will be easier in the future.
You may have heard of the United States Peace Corps, but did you know that the organization has deep ties with Colorado State University? A ceremony was held yesterday to honor the ties and to celebrate a new tribute garden that will be established west of the LSC in October. Yesterday was National Peace Corps Day at CSU. Established by President John F. Kennedy in 1961, the Peace Corps is an organization that promotes peace and friendship. Faculty, staff, and students gathered to hear former volunteers speak about their experiences in the LSC Theater. President Amy Parsons also came to make a speech.
The creation of this special place to commemorate the birth of the Peace Corps and reflect upon its meaning and its impact seems long overdue. As generations shift and we lose some of the giants who have really created the foundation of CSU, we risk losing some of those very powerful stories that they had, that you all have, that our faculty and students have achieved over time, unless we can find a way to capture that history and embed it within the geography of our campus, and this garden serves that purpose.
Over 1,750 rams have been sent to serve in different countries since Peace Corps was established. The garden will include a donor wall and benches. Seeds will be planted for remembrance. It will also be a great place to read, so writers at the ceremony showcase their poems.
As Peace Corps volunteers, we watch this nearly full moon through hazy tropical air from a small plaza in the subsistence farming village of San Pedro del Espino in Panama.
Peace Corps are a reminder that diversity and perspectives is important.
It's about the future as much as it is about the past, and honoring those giants. We hope that it will be a place that all of the returning Peace Corps volunteers can come and gather and share their experiences. But above all, it will be a place where people from all walks of life and all countries in the world can gather to share their stories.
CSU has sent over 1,750 volunteers across the world since 1961. The garden is to honor those who have gone above and beyond to make our world a better place. Now live in the studio, we have Ali Naz here to tell you about how this TikTok trend exploded into book talk. Ali?
Thanks, Abby. To read or not to read? That's the question. Now, you might have heard of the viral app TikTok, but have you heard about book talk?
Thriller dealing with a mother-daughter relationship. It is so good. Forget a couple sittings. I read this one in one single sitting.
Book Talk is a sub-community of TikTok that has skyrocketed the popularity of books. English major Maddie Jett had much to say about it.
I really enjoy consuming book talks. Book talk is a really good way to get recommended books that are like very curated to your interests.
According to Publishers Weekly, when Book Talk rose to popularity in 2020, printed book sales had an 8.2% increase.
Yeah, I think that making reading a trend just has like revived the passion that people have for it.
Firehouse Books employee Andrea Day spoke on the impact Book Talk has had on bookstores.
We definitely get a lot more people in the store than we did for like very specific authors. Book Talk actually has opened up opportunities for independent authors and independent publishing houses a lot more, because they see these books online, and it doesn't matter as much if it's published by like Simon & Schuster, Penguin Random House.
Book Talk was able to make reading trendy, which raises the question, just how powerful is TikTok?
I think TikTok is like the #1 influence of our culture at the moment. I think during COVID, it gave us something to do and kept us connected, and then from there our generation just kind of ran with it.
I think TikTok is an incredibly influential platform. I think it's doing amazing things for authors and for readers and writers.
Social media creates the very trends that shape our generation. Ali Niaz, CTV Channel 11. Back to you guys.
Are you tired of making a separate trip to the liquor store just to stock up on your favorite bottled wine? Well, those days are officially over, at least in Colorado. The ballot of Proposition 125 passed by less than 2% in November's election and took effect yesterday. The initiative allows local Colorado grocery stores to sell bottled wine. And although wine enthusiasts across the state are happy to hear this news, controversy from the community has risen in regards to the local revenue liquor stores receive. Profits may go down because of how convenient it is to grab both a bottle and a carton of eggs on a late-night grocery run. We'll have to wait and see what the impacts are of the propositions passing. In the meantime, cheers to this new law, Colorado. I'm not 21 yet, so I cannot buy wine like this, but I bet it is just convenient now to go over.
Yeah. I definitely feel like this is going to be a lot easier for people who just want to stop by the grocery store and get all of their things at one place. Not that I'm a huge wine drinker myself, but I'm sure it's going to be a lot more convenient for other people in the community. And with the help of our Aggie roots, CSU is one of the leading schools in agriculture and animal sciences in the nation. It is one of the only universities that have a real-world production team in the Animal Sciences Department that works with charities to make a difference in the Fort Collins community and in the state of Colorado. Ram Country Meats, located in the heart of CSU's campus, is one of the many places students can work to gain hands-on experience.
Ram's really good for students. Like, you get to learn all about like meat safety, meat science, all of that stuff. Just really be able to get more education from it.
The Animal Sciences Department has a variety of programs within the meat industry. People like Sophia Hightower, the assistant manager at CSU's Meat Lab, work with students to prepare them for the future.
We do our best to make sure that the students are getting a variety of skills to take to their future careers. I think that's the main thing for us, is working with students and faculty members, grad students, to make sure that we're doing the best we can to improve the meat industry.
The lab's reconstruction in 2019 makes CSU one of the leaders in the nation, according to Dr. Bob Delmore, a professor who oversees the work done in the lab.
So to get a facility that did everything that we needed to do and have it on the main campus was critically important for us.
Around the time of the reconstruction, Ram Country Meats partnered with charities to create a solution to the lack of protein products given to children facing food insecurity.
So we've been involved since the very beginning, working with beef sticks for backpacks. From a very small number of a couple thousand a week to we make 20,000 sticks every week.
And while students are helping children stay fed, they also benefit from the experience the workforce has to offer.
I think it gives them a little bit of pride in their work to have something, so meaningful for the state of Colorado.
Having a job on campus can open a lot of doors for students, and the charity work Ram Country Meats does with backpack programs helps set them apart from other universities. That's all we have for you right now, but stick around because after this break, we have Madeline Davis here to tell you all about your sports news.